Diolch yn fawr iawn I pawb. Now mae ymuno ni. Thanks very much everybody for joining us this afternoon. Hope you're going to find this webinar very useful today. I've got 4 amazing speakers to come to speak to you, and I think between the 4 of them they've done more for developing STEM in North West Wales than anybody I can think of. So they'll be coming a little bit later on. I just want to go over a few things from the last webinar and talk about this development framework that we're hopefully trying to get going. Well, let's move on and let's get cracking. So here we go. First one, guys. Okay, so what's on the agenda today? Okay, we're going to quickly have a little look over what were the key messages from the last webinar for those people that couldn't make it, and talk about the IRIS 4-pillar framework for developing STEM in schools. We're going to have a look at how we can go about building this pillar to enrich your STEM curriculum in your school. Then we've got these 4 amazing speakers. And then if we've got time, and I don't know if we will have this time, but in the future we certainly will do, is to have a time for breakout rooms and to meet each other and have a chat and say what's going on well in your school and things like that. Because I think with 4 speakers and myself yakking on, we'll probably be about an hour. So anyway, here's to move on to the first slide here today. Okay, so in the last webinar, for those of you that weren't here, okay, I was highlighting the main reasons for supporting development of STEM in North Wales. Okay, we looked at this golden circle. Those of you developing the curriculum at the moment will have seen this circle loads of times. Okay, and I was trying to establish why are we going to do it, why are we developing STEM, and why is it important for our students that we're doing this. Okay, so today we're going to be moving outwards from that why there in the middle there, and focusing on the how and how schools can develop STEM and a framework for it in their school. Okay, and then we're going to be looking at the what can be the processes that can be put in place by the school to achieve outcomes for their students. Okay, so moving on, let's have a quick look, see if these will all work. Okay. So here's the main reasons again, okay, just in case you missed them last time. Okay, the RSP stands for the Regional Skills Partnership, and these are the people in North Wales who talk to employers and then feedback to the Welsh Government and the educational providers like the colleges and schools. And they've identified, really serious skill shortages in the labour market or the workforce, mainly shortages in STEM skills. Okay, so the potential for growth in North Wales will be limited without a suitably skilled workforce. Working in partnership with them is the North Wales Economic Ambition Board, which have identified 8 growth sectors that offer huge employment opportunities. Okay, they're STEM based. Plus, we've also got £1 billion of investment coming into North Wales for things like green hydrogen, for model ice and people like that. And the technology, they're all STEM-based jobs. Okay, so also we've, for those teachers out there, we've also got the little matter of the new curriculum coming up in September, which offers exciting opportunities to develop the employability skills of our youngsters. Okay, to hopefully fulfil some of those shortages in North Wales. Also, we've just had a little thing as well called the pandemic that's been just, hopefully coming towards an end. Who knows? But a lot of people over the pandemic, who were in hospitality jobs and things like that, were desperate to try and change work. And one thing that's actually been shown in a lot of research still over the pandemic is that STEM skills are transferable, and you increase your employability by gaining them. So that was the why. Okay, now we're going to move on to the how and the what. Okay, so those of you that couldn't make it last time, okay, introduce something that potentially could be very useful for schools developing STEM, called the IRIS 4-pillar STEM development framework. The proposal for STEM development in a school, the roof there really sits on 4 pillars, which are shown here. And they are, okay, enrich the STEM curriculum, which we're looking at today, signpost the future, capturing talent by removing barriers, and developing your STEM community. Okay, so what do those 4 pillars mean? Okay, well, enriching the STEM curriculum involves developing, improving pupil employability skills through STEM activities. Okay, and that's one thing we're going to be looking at today, and where our speakers will be, talking to you about how they can go about doing it and helping you with it. The signpost in the future column, the orange column next there, okay, is about improving student awareness of STEM careers, which is something that STEM Gogledd's project is all about. The third green pillar there is about capturing talent by removing barriers, means about promoting equity of access to STEM careers, such as schemes like Girls into Engineering or Boys into Medicine and other health careers. And then the final one, developing your STEM community, involves schools developing education business links to create good working relationships with employers, businesses, colleges and universities. Now, taken as a whole, these 4 pillars provide a really sensible and innovative approach for schools wanting to develop a STEM framework. And today we're going to be looking at how to develop the first of the 4 pillars, which is about how we go about enriching the STEM curriculum for our youngsters. And by the way, STEM Gogledd will be producing a webinar for each of these pillars. Okay, now I'm just going to pause there for a second. Have a quick look. Has somebody got a microphone on somewhere, because I'm getting an echo back here. Have a quick look at that horrific jigsaw there, guys. Okay, it's a bit of a jigsaw. Just spend a couple of minutes looking at it. Okay, a few things to take on board there. Okay, schools adopting this 4-pillar approach might end up with a framework looking something like this. Okay, it's coming together to provide a structure consisting of a coordinated approach from senior management at the top here, okay, to the teachers in the school and Careers Wales. Now, those 3 at the top, and they coordinate and they work together, and the pupils who are underneath here will receive everything here from the STEM clubs, business and industry engagement, talks, STEM ambassador talks from industry, visits to industry. They'll be taking part in STEM projects, competitions, STEM takeover days, use of STEM alumni and influencers, programs of visits to STEM departments in colleges and universities, and looking at the Girls into STEM program and the Lads into Health program possibly. Now, in terms of today, if I just flick between the 2, this is what pillar 1 is all about, okay, enriching the STEM curriculum. And this pillar will contribute to this part of the structure of the school. Each of these boxes is going to be looked at over the course of this webinar today. But the big green box at the bottom here, the one I've got the circle in around here with the mouse here, okay, is the one that we're going to be looking at and being explained by our guest speakers today. Okay, so quickly reminding ourselves about the first pillar, what it stands for, okay, about providing authentic experiences. The bit in the yellow and the red there, you can see it there, okay. That's what this pillar is all about. What are these employability skills that everybody's yakking on about? Well, if you were here in the last meeting, you'll remember that they're about these. But those of you that's planning for the new curriculum at the moment will also know that these are the integral skills and the cross-curricular skills. Okay, so these should be being developed as part of our developments for the national curriculum. Okay, so these are the skills that kids are going to need to gain for them to apply for a growing range of jobs in the North Wales area. Okay, so moving on. The dreaded Estyn word. Okay, so last time I said a huge plus to this framework is that each of the 4 pillars supports the new curriculum for Wales, and it also supports the new Estyn schools inspection guidance from 2022. If you read the yellow highlighted parts in both, on the left and on the right hand side, compared with what Estyn's going to inspect on the right hand side, they're essentially exactly the same, really. So Estyn's going to be looking at how the school provides authentic and engaging learning experiences to enrich the curriculum and develop STEM knowledge and skills. And then what's the curriculum for Wales guidance say? Okay, if you're looking at that, then it's exactly the same. Again, looking at the yellow highlighted parts on both sides, on the pillar on the left hand side to what's it saying for the curriculum for Wales, they're essentially the same, developing integral skills, which are part of the employability skills. But as well, another bonus, I was talking about the regional skills earlier on in the slide, a couple of slides back, okay, that they've got 3 priorities for North Wales, of which the second priority is called developing the employability skills of the workforce. Okay, that's shown in the middle box, and this is also supported by this pillar. So there's 3 big plus points for doing this. Okay, now how do we go about doing it? Okay, and by the way, while these pictures have appeared, okay, I'm using pictures from events that we've done, or Technocamps has done, or ESW have done over the last 2 or 3 years. If you've got your own pictures of events that you'd like to share and send up to us so that we can put them into these presentations, we'd be really grateful for them. So anyway, how do we go about doing it? Okay, how do we actually put the yellow bit on the left-hand side of the pillar into practice in schools? You know, how do we put some meat on the bone now? Okay, so let's have a little look at it. The box on the right-hand side will offer you some suggestions. Okay, you can implement it possibly using inquiry-based activities and collaborative learning activities and STEM activities, but it's this one at the bottom here that we really are interested in today, and that's why we've got so many helpful, kind people coming to talk to you today about this organised extracurricular STEM activities. Okay, so how do you realise it? Okay, well, research tasks, practical investigations, STEM projects, competitions, challenges, STEM clubs, STEM takeover days, STEM theme weeks. Okay, here's, I think, the Bryn Refal STEM club that's going on here. Here's the Yscol David Hughes rocketry competition that was going on here. So well, there'll be more about this in a minute. Let's have a little look at these. Okay, so supported by Engineering Education Scheme for Wales, Technocamps, Royal Academy of Engineering, the STEM guide I've put together in the audit tool, STEM Powered Learning, Crest and Iris, all these. There's more companies out there. I've just put a few that's in there. But the main ones being ESW, Technocamps, RAE, STEM Gogledd, and now we're going to hear from the people that's representing those companies here. Okay, so mewn Crinoldeb yn Cymraeg. Now, at this point, I'm going to shut up, and it's a pleasure to introduce three people who've done so much, four people that have done so much to help schools develop in STEM in North Wales. Got Alice, who's the North Wales Coordinator for Engineering Education Scheme Wales. Alex, Regional Coordinator for Technocamps based in Bangor. Neil, who's the Teacher Rep for the Royal Academy of Engineering, works at Bryn Ellion. And Keith Jones, the legend from the IOP. Okay, I'm hoping that these guys will give you an idea of what they can offer the schools, you know, information about their networks, their programme events, how you can contact them, how they can support STEM development in your school in order to help you build this Pillar 1 and enrich the STEM curriculum. Alice, I'm going to try and stop sharing now if I can. Right, let's have a quick look. Got to finish show slide, yeah. And my mouse won't move, help, there we go. All right, so I think I've stopped sharing now, Alice.
Yeah, you have, yeah. So I will share mine. So can we see that?
Yeah.
Lovely stuff. So yes, if you're happy for me to start talking here, is that
Absolutely
okay?
Fine, yeah, no problems at all. Thanks, Alice.
Brilliant. So Pnawn, hello everyone. I am Alice Murray Heath, as he said. I'm the North Wales Coordinator for EESW STEM Cymru, which is a bit of a mouthful of a name, but the EESW is Engineering Education Scheme Wales, and then the STEM Cymru part is our European Social Fund supported project, which is the STEM Cymru project, which runs, it's technically called the West Wales and the Valleys area, but for North Wales, that means that we're funded to do these activities in Anglesey, Gwynedd, Conwy and Denbighshire, and then in Flintshire, Wrexham, top of Powys, we are funded by the Welsh Government. So we can do all of North Wales, which is the good news. So we are an educational charity. We've been in existence since 1989, believe it or not. So the charity is actually older than me, not to brag. But so we do we've got a lot of history in Wales of providing these STEM activities, which are so important for the STEM pillars, for STEM education, for providing these employability skills. So we have got various strands of activity, and I'm just going to go through them one by one and give you a brief overview of what we offer. So I'm sort of going from the top down, I'm going oldest down. So our sort of main offering, what we started in 1989 and we continue to offer today, is the sixth form project. Now that is an industry project where we team a team of sixth form pupils, year 12, with a local company, and they are set a real industry brief, and they spend around 6 months of the academic year solving that brief. They write a project report, they go and have a site visit, they have lots of real sort of industry experience, and at the end of that process they come up with either a model, a prototype, a solution, something theoretical. It depends on the brief. They produce a report, and then, as you can see from the pictures here, they attend our awards and presentation event at the end of the process, where they are assessed and where they are given awards if they have, come the top in their respective categories. Now, this is really, really beneficial for your sixth formers. I know it's probably a bit late by the time they're in sixth form to maybe influence them towards STEM or towards engineering, but engineering still is slightly underrepresented, especially in sixth form. So it's good for, say, if you've got a class of pupils doing physics or a class of people doing maths, if they've not quite chosen what to do post sixth form, it gives them a real industry experience of what engineering can be. They do real problems, they speak with real engineers. It's a really, really good process for them. They can also do it as part of their Welsh back. So if they do the Welsh back in year 12, they can use that as part of it. And they also gain a Gold Crest Award, which is awarded by the British Science Association and is really, really beneficial for things like UCAS applications or apprenticeship applications. So sixth form project is a really, really beneficial thing to get involved with. It's obviously running this year already, but if you were considering it for the September start, it's a really, really great thing to get involved with. And we have lots of success stories from it. So I would really encourage, especially if you've got some really keen or more able sixth formers, well, who are year 11s now, who you'd think would make good sixth form candidates for it, definitely think about doing this because it's a great experience. Okay, next we've got, I think it's my favourite competition of our whole offering, and that is the F1 in Schools competition. Now, this is what it says on the tin, is F1 in Schools. The pupils form a team and they design their own model F1 car, as you can see from the pictures there. It's very, very small, but it's powered by a gas canister and it shoots down the track at incredible speeds. But the whole process is really, really what I like to call like STEM intensive. So they are doing CAD CAM, they are doing, computer design, they are doing things like developing, they're doing aerodynamics, they're using CFD software, and then they've got their soft skills like verbal presentation, they've got to design a portfolio, they've got to produce a pit display, they've got to do speaking to judges who are often engineers or people who are sort of experts in their field. So it's a real all-round experience for them. We've had some really cool success stories from Welsh schools. We've had some once-in-a-lifetime experiences, teams going to national finals, international finals in Asia, America. It's a fantastic competition. It's really fun. It develops a lot of skills and it develops confidence. And again, it shows them a different side to STEM and a different side to engineering that they wouldn't necessarily get in the sort of classroom environment. So again, F1 in Schools is already running for this year, but if you're considering it for September, then registration will be open in the summer term. And we at ESW can provide all sorts of support for that. So we can provide CAD sort of lessons. The software is free. We can come in and do CAD lessons and teach your pupils how to design the car. We can also machine the car for you. So we've got a CNC machine, so we can cut the cars and send them back to school. We have a wind tunnel so that they can test. We can bring in our track gates and we can do a sort of test race day. And then in a normal year, we would host the regional final at Venue Cymru. This year, the regional final is unfortunately virtual because of obvious reasons. But we do a lot with the F1 in Schools. We've got a lot of support there. And of course, it is all free. So no excuse not to do it, I like to say. That's a picture, obviously, a real F1 car, but that's the sort of thing that appears at the final there. And then this is some more examples of things like the CFD software. That is an example of a pit display that one of the teams made. And up in the top corner there is an example of a portfolio page. So you can see the work that goes into it and the level of STEM skills that they explore during this competition. Okay, moving on. Another fun one is the First LEGO League. So First LEGO League, again, it's a global competition, but we run it in Wales. We pay for Welsh schools to enter. It's usually £180 to enter, but we pay the fee for you. And it's a great competition. Pupils will code or they'll program their EV3 robot, as you can see here. There are new robots now. There's also a robot called a Spike Prime to do various missions. And they go to, again, a regional final that we would host. and they would program their robot around the map to score points. There is also a STEM research project that they have to do, and they have to present that to the judges as well. Hugh has got some experience of judging those in the past, and I think he'll agree that they do go to some interesting topics. But it's a really good fun. It introduces them to robotics and programming in quite a nice inclusive way, because it's not about being the best of the best. You know, it's all about what they've learned and what they've gained along the way. And also it's really easy to hook them in, because if you say to a group of pupils, do you want to do something with Lego, they will say yes, absolutely. So it's a nice one to get them involved. It's like STEM by stealth. They don't necessarily know that they're gaining the STEM skills. They just think they're playing with Lego, but they are. It's a great one. And again, there's national championships and there's European and American championships, which we have got previous of North Wales schools attending. So we've got a good track record there. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do, we have got lots of one-off sessions which we can deliver in schools. If I explained all of them in detail, we'd be here until tomorrow. So I'm just going to run through a couple of them, but this is a screenshot of our website. So basically, if you go onto our website, stemcymru.org.uk, and you go into the Key Stage 3 activities section, there is a rundown of all of them there, of all the ones you can book. But I'm just going to talk you through a couple of them so you get an idea of what we offer. Again, they're all free. They are all bookable throughout the year. So it's just a little taster of what we can offer your pupils. So first one is wind turbines. This is eternally popular, and it's getting more and more relevant, obviously, with the sustainability and the renewable energy aspects of the curriculum. And it's a nice practical session. The pupils work in teams. They are given a small sort of pack of kit. They've got a gearbox in there. They've got an electrical kit. They've got the blades of the wind turbine, and they are asked to simply put a wind turbine together. So they have to use practical skills. There's a bit of working it out there, a bit of deduction. There's fine motor skills, putting the gears and things together. And then at the end of the session, there's a little bit of a competition, because we ask them to see who can get the highest voltage, who can produce the highest voltage with their wind turbine. I think the Welsh record currently is 19 volts off a tiny wind turbine. So that's, you know, I think that's the one to beat. Unfortunately, that was a South Wales school, so I need lots of you to book a wind turbine session so that we can beat that in North Wales. But it's a nice session, fits in nicely with with many aspects of the curriculum, practical, hands-on, and it never fails. It's a really nice session. It can be done in about 2 hours, so you could have 3 in one day, like 3 lots of 2 lessons, if you like. So it's a nice one to hit, to see a lot of pupils and get them a nice practical experience. And this is just a little example of what it looks like. You wouldn't think that would produce 19 volts, but it can. So next one is the BBC Microbit Session. Again, eternally popular session. We have got our little buggies there. They have had a bit of an upgrade in recent years. And they use a microbit to program these buggies to do various things, go in different directions, and by the end of the session we make the microbit buggies remote control. As you can see from the picture there, we set up a bit of a sumo area, and all the pupils use their remote control buggy that they've coded to try and hit each other out of the area. So it's a nice end to the session. Again, it's a bit of STEM by stealth, because they don't realize that they are doing the sort of complex coding that they are. In their mind, they're just going, yeah, I'm doing a remote control car, that's cool. And there's a load of STEM skills in there in again a 2-hour session. So it's a nice quick hit of STEM, if you like. And this is our newest one, which is Hugh's favourite. This is this is the urban farming project. So this is a bit more of a long-term one. We basically provide you with a bit of kit. So that is a Kitronic greenhouse control board, and we give you solar panels, servo motors, moisture sensors, things like that. And the aim is that the pupils design and manufacture and create and code their own urban greenhouse, which is automatic. So the idea is they can choose some small plants or some things to grow. And with their greenhouse, it should all just do it for them. So it should automatically water the plants. It should automatically open and close windows to regulate temperature. It should be powered on its own through the solar panel. So it's quite cross-curricular, this, because it takes in obviously science skills, D&T skills, coding skills, there's geography in there, and it's a whole project pack. We've got supporting lesson plans, we've got video tutorials on ideas to get starting with the coding, and then obviously our activity deliverers can visit the school and help you along with it. The only problem with the urban farming project at the moment is that it is so popular. We've got a bit of a waiting list for it, but we have got more kits in production, so hopefully that should ease soon. But it's wrong time to lose my voice when I'm trying to do this. It's a really nice project to do. We've had some really lovely results, especially from things like eco clubs, STEM clubs. So it's nice to do on a sort of small level, but you can do it on a class level as well. And again, lots of STEM skills by stealth that they don't quite realise they're gaining, but it's happening anyway. And a lot of cress has been grown.
Definitely cress. Now, Alice, I'm just looking here at progression step 3 and 4 in the computation is the foundation for our digital world, and it hits both of those absolutely spot on. It
absolutely
really does.
That reminds me that actually, thank you for reminding me, all of our competitions and one-off sessions and projects like this, we do have a curriculum mapping document for. So when you book it, we can give you a document which shows you exactly which progression steps it is working towards. So we can give that as well.
I have to look at a cress award. Have you seen that?
Sorry? Nice. So yeah, like I said, I won't go through all of them, otherwise I'd be here forever, but just an idea. There's so much more. There's more sessions. There's one called On the Road to Cleaner Air, which is all about air quality. We've got an engineering career session, which goes through all the different fields of engineering. Speed challenge, which is an introduction to F1. They can race cardboard cars in the hall. Crumble coding, which is for sort of the younger pupils. If they're less able, we can do crumble controller coding, which is sort of just below microbit level. Scratch coding, small plane sessions, there's loads. So if you go on the website, you can see what we offer, but we offer one-offs and longer term projects as well. We also try to provide sort of wraparound to the one-off sessions. So there are extension activities and lesson plans for after we've been in and delivered our session. You can access those lesson plans to sort of extend the learning and the themes. We also deliver Big Bang at School events. So some of you may have heard of the Big Bang competition and the Big Bang fair. There is something called a Big Bang at School, where we basically deliver a Big Bang event to you. And it involves a career session, a workshop, a competition, and usually there's a grant for your school as well, some money for the school to buy some equipment or to enter the Big Bang Competition UK. Unfortunately, they are all allocated and booked for this academic year, but again, come September, they will be available again. So do get in touch if that's something that you would be interested in. And similarly, we run varied competitions every year, depending on what the theme of the year is and sort of which organisations we're working with. This year, we ran a competition with the IET called the IET 150, which was all about sustainable living. We ran the Road Signs for Wales competition, where the pupils designed a road sign to explain the environmental speed limits. So, you know, where it's 50 miles an hour in Deeside and Wrexham, they were designing a road sign to explain to drivers why it is 50 miles an hour. And of course, we've got the Big Bang competition, which anyone can enter. And I would encourage you guys to enter the Big Bang competition if you can, and we can help you with that as well. So
it's absolutely superb. It really is the Big Bang competition, isn't it? It's
really good. Yeah, lots of great experiences. And like we were speaking about earlier in the week, if they go to Birmingham to the national one, yeah, it's amazing.
It is. The talent there that's amongst the youngsters is great. I mean, yeah. 2 years ago, the winners were a group of Year 11 girls from Worcester who turned waste food into vitamin tablets. It was brilliant, really good.
Fantastic, unreal, some of them. I'm aware that I am waffling loads, so I'm going to try and push through. So again, we've got our Girls into STEM initiative. These are really nice. They are just either half day or day visits to local companies, industry, university departments. We've had visits to places like Airbus, Toyota, Tata Steel, the universities, Welsh Water, Magnox, loads of places we've had visits to. And you just bring, it's usually around 20 to 30 girls. We have opened them up to girls and boys now because there was a bit of a rumbling of why can't the boys go. So we do have some mixed visits now, but it's mainly girls into STEM, and they're always a roaring success. There's always good feedback from them, and always a lot of girls not realizing that this was out there for them. So girls into STEM visits are really good. And again, you just need to email us and be on the mailing list to be told about those, and we can get you booked on.
Alice, if it's your last slide, can you go back to the beginning so you can get your contact details?
I've got that at the end.
Take it. Oh, okay, fantastic. Yeah. Thanks.
And then finally, Head Start Cymru obviously hasn't run in a few years, but we're hoping to run it this year. Is a residential at all the universities in Wales. And again, pupils can book onto that. It's a couple of days. They stay in the halls. They do some sort of social events, but most importantly, they have a course at the university. It's either an introduction to all engineering, or it's a product design, or it's a sort of snippet of what their course at university would be like. And again, really good for your year 12s if they haven't chosen a path yet or a subject. It's good for them to see what university would be like. And again, that's free. We pay for that. We're funded for that. So they'll be coming up later in the term. And again, it's all about website and emailing us. So hopefully, yes, that is everything. So that's my last slide there. So you can get in touch with us, like I said, via the website. Our phone number is there. That's the office number, but if you ring that, they will put you through to one of us. There is myself, Alice, and then I also have a colleague called Kerry, who is the North Wales activity deliverer, and we run everything in North Wales. So if you want anything ESW, you'll see one of us too. And I'm hoping that I've not put you off with all my... I
think you're going to regret this because you're going to be very busy as a result.
So I will stop sharing that. And
thanks very much indeed.
I will apologise for talking for so long.
People don't realise how much you do, Alice. It's a tremendous amount of things that the ESW offer here, and hopefully, people have seen what you can offer them today, which is great. Thank you very much for doing that. That's brilliant. Alex? You're on mute, Alex, I think, as well.
Oh yeah, that famous lockdown.
There we go.
Right. Dun, dun, dun. Hopefully you can see a bright yellow screen.
Yep, it's all good.
Fab. Right, hello everyone. I'm Alex. I'm regional coordinator for Tackler Camps based at Bangor University. So if you've never heard of us, we've been going since early 2000s, 2003. We're a university-wide project, initially to support computer science and coding, but we kind of branched out in our latest round of funding more into STEM enrichment, but with always with a sort of 1 foot in the computer science camp, because we're based out of the computer science departments in all of the Welsh universities. So I'll keep this fairly brief as time is knocking on. We are running so I'll start with our secondary program, which is an enrichment program where we're looking for, initially before the COVID situation, we were looking to engage with learners for 20 hours. That's now clearly not possible. So we are looking for 2, preferably 3 engagements with learners in our program. We have a focus on trying to get girls into STEM. The purpose of this particular strand of our work is to inspire learners who are disengaged or need support, and hoping then to turn these youngsters into choosing STEM post 16. We've got 12 different workshops at the moment, which some are very similar to the ones that Alice was going through, but we've got things like computational thinking. We've got brain games, which is a kind of a problem-solving collaborative workshop to try and get kids thinking and working together. We've got a renewable energy which uses Lego to build a working wind turbine. We've got microbit workshops which are very science, but so a lot of our stuff we're trying to kind of it's very much aligned to the new curriculum, trying to get science teachers using more devices, even music teachers with our Make Some Noise workshop that we've got here. We've got a smart greenhouse workshop, which is a similar idea to Alice. So if Alice doesn't have the capacity to run it, we can come in and run something very, very similar for you. We've got we're heavily involved in supporting the new digital tech GCSE, so we can come in and run workshops on Animate and Game Maker and Dreamweaver for you to get your kids' skills up. We've got computational arts, which uses coding in a more artistic way, and we've got another microbit workshop there as well. We've even got things that contribute towards Welsh back for data handling and analysis and enterprise and entrepreneurship. We can give you a bit of a first Lego League taster so that you can then go on and work with EESW to actually enter the first Lego League competition. And we've got like a sort of a tabletop escape room game, which is based around cryptography and code breaking and things like that, which usually goes down pretty well. Workshops are delivered as half days. I'll put together, should you wish to engage with us, we'll put together a program and tailor it to suit your setting. As I said previously, it aligns to and supports the new curriculum. We provide all the kit, even the computers. We'll bring in all the laptops. We don't need to take up your very precious IT suites in your school. And of course, everything is free. We're funded through the ESF and also through Welsh Government for what we do. We also offer our services to primary schools from reception to year 6. I think somebody asked the question in a chat whether they support key stage, foundation phase, which we do. And again, we will. That is absolutely free. Here's an idea of what we can offer to primary schools. So very similar to our secondary offering, but obviously slightly pared down. So we've got things like the Lego robotics, which is always popular, computational thinking again. We've got the Crumble controller, we've got brain games, we've got Edison robots challenges, we've got the code breakers, we've got the Make Some Noise and the Microbit Makers workshop also. We also provide CPD, so at the moment we're running a program for the Digital Technology GCSE. We're also running a primary Techno Teach accredited program to bring up the computational thinking and coding skills of the primary teachers. We also offer bespoke and tailored sessions, so if there's something that you think that we can help you support in the CPD for your staff, then please get in touch and we'll see what we can do. For example, I was in a primary yesterday, just getting them up to speed with the Crumble controller, and that was good. It was good fun. We've got lots of resources available online, as well as 3 after-school clubs, which are about to start again on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So we run the we don't actually. It's Glendoor now, but North Presence runs the club on the Wednesday, Swansea on a Monday, and Cardiff on a Friday. This is where we're at in the digital technology CPD session. If you are delivering that and you haven't engaged in that program, then please have a look on our website or get in touch with me, and I can let you know how to sign up for that. Those are the sessions that are upcoming. We also, since we have a focus on trying to get girls into science and technology, we will be running an event possibly in the Easter holidays. It's still to be finalised. We ran one just before lockdown in February 2020 at the university, which was absolutely fantastic. And we had people like Airbus and other departments in the university. We had an entourage from Tywin that came up and sorry, not Tywin, Tywin, that came up and stayed at the university accommodation. They just had a really great experience. So hopefully we'll be able to do that again. We've got 2 competitions on at the moment. We've got Game of Codes, which is based around renewables, and also we've got Explore the Unexplored, which is a competition in conjunction with the RAF, which is a robotics based competition, and I've put the short URLs there for you to be able to access more information about those 2 things. We work closely with other organisations like Microbit, Twinkle. We've been working with them to publish resources through their site, mainly for primary so far. We also work closely with education resellers like Creative Hut and Kitronic. So if there's any kits or resources that you are not sure about, what kind of things can we use for example, foundation phase for coding. We can work with those suppliers to find decent kit that will do the job for you and offer you that advice. So please don't hesitate to get in touch. And there is my contact details. So please email me. If you would like to book. Say again, sorry?
Take a screenshot or something?
I'll put it in the chat here.
Okay, that's great. Thanks, Alex.
And if you are primary, if you want to make a booking for our playground computing workshops, then you can make a booking through that link, or just email me and I can send you the information first. We cover, from Bangor, we cover Conwy, Denbighshire, Gwynedd and Mon. If you are a Flintshire or Wrexham based school, then Will Clark at Glyndŵr University will be more than happy to help you out, and his contact details are there, but I'll replicate all of this in the chat too. I have got some videos to show, but Hugh, I think I probably need to pass on to the next speaker.
Maybe we can come back to it. That's so kind of you. Is there anything that you two don't do, really, between ESW and Technocamps? That's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean,
Thank you so much.
We also do children's parties and weddings.
Oh, that's brilliant. Thank you so much, Alex. That's really kind of you. Neil, are you good to go?
Yeah, I think so.
Neil is, do you want to introduce yourself, or shall I introduce you, Neil? Neil is the RAE representative teacher rep, teaching technology at Ysgol Bryn Ellion.
Right, I'm just doing the technical stuff now, see if I can get it working.
Coleman Bay internet, isn't it? I know it is, definitely.
Yeah, well, no, it's not. It's mold internet, and at the moment it's moldy internet. Right.
Going so, now, Neil.
Let's have a look. Right, are you getting some sort of a PowerPoint presentation?
It's a show. Yeah, it's a show. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Right, just before I start, going back on what Alice was saying earlier, she missed out something. She was talking about the sixth form competition, and I think this is quite important, really, because we had 2 girls last year who took part in the EESW sixth form competition, and they won their category. And something Alice forgot to mention, I think, was they actually won £500 for the school, £50 each for themselves. So I think that's worth mentioning, to be honest with you.
I deliberately left it out because I feel like sometimes the motivation's in the wrong place if you say that.
No. I think, to be honest with you, when you know, our school and the 2 girls won they received their checks, that they didn't even realise that was coming. They had no idea. They put everything into it, and they were so made up with that. It was just an added bonus, really, to everything that they got. So yeah, that's why I thought I'd mention it.
That prize money used to keep me in consumables. It's absolutely brilliant. Thanks, Neil. Point though, very good point.
Yeah. Okay. Right, I'll just leave that on the screen there. That's my email address for anybody who wants to contact me. I'll leave that there for a moment, just while I sort of introduce myself officially, if you like. I'm Neil Humphreys. I'm a teacher at Oscail Benelian in Colwyn Bay. I teach design, technology, engineering, and I'm the school's STEM ambassador. I've been working there for 17 years, so hopefully they're going to keep me on now, I think. I'm here today to talk to you about the Royal Academy of Engineers and how you, as a teaching professional, can benefit from joining your local Royal Academy network. I cover the whole of the North Wales coastline, and that coastline seems to be getting bigger and bigger, to be honest with you. When I first started, it was just a pocket of schools close by to me, but we now stretch from North Anglesey, Amlwch, all the way across to Wrexham. So it really is getting bigger by the minute, and I want to draw as many people in as possible, really. But if anyone who's a little bit further afield, and I don't think there is today, there are plenty of other teacher coordinators like me scattered across the country who would love to have you on board. Just before I begin to start my sermon, I have to emphasise that everything I talk about, like the others really who have talked already, that the resources and the classroom kits that I talk about now, and the lesson plans and the activities are all completely free. And I say this because I still get current network members. I was talking to Hugh about this yesterday, wondering what the catch is. A lot of them still think that there's something that they've got to give up for this, but it's not. It's completely free. Everything is, the school doesn't have to pay for anything. It's all there handed to you. Okay, so what is Connecting STEM Teachers Programme? The Connecting STEM Teachers Programme is a national programme which supports teachers and school coordinators of STEM subjects like science, design, technology, engineering, maths and computing. We do this by helping teachers to engage in a greater number and a wider spectrum of school pupils with STEM education and careers awareness. Through local regional networks.
Neil, sorry to stop you there. Your PowerPoint's not changing at all, unless you change.
No. I'm going to leave it like that for now.
I'll shut up. I'm sorry.
I'm just going to leave that there for now. Okay. Just while I waffle on, and then I'm going to go through some images for everyone.
Okay. Sorry, Neil.
Is that okay? Yeah. All right, mate. The CST...
last time, right? I kept on talking, and I didn't realise the PowerPoints weren't changing. Sorry.
No, I'm just checking. It does actually change. There you go. Yeah. Well, actually, that does make a bit more sense. That when I'm trying to explain at the moment how us networkers, we cover the lengths and breadths of Great Britain, and of which I am one. We aim to build the knowledge and confidence needed to provide pupils with a hands-on, cross-curricular activity through thought-provoking real-world engineering projects. There's some amazing numbers here. The programme creates an estimated 150,000 STEM experiences for pupils in approximately 900 schools every year. And I like this number. 1,900 STEM resource boxes were sent out to schools last year. Last year alone, yeah. So how does the programme work? We have a fantastic team of STEM coordinators, who lead networks across the whole of the UK. TCs, which I am, that's not Top Cats. TCs are experienced teachers and education consultants of STEM subjects. Our aim is to deliver personal development and professional development and training on the Academy's STEM resource boxes at terminally network meetings, and provide opportunities for teachers to network with each other and to share good STEM practice, leading to continued collaboration outside of the programme. So what's in the box? I suppose really, I'm going to come back to some of these slides. I'm going to leave it on that one for a minute when I'm talking about what's in the box. Teachers who join the CST network will receive our STEM learning resources, many of which come with all the kit and material needed to run the activities and lessons or STEM clubs. Each box is thematically linked to create a setting for real-world learning and contains the materials needed to deliver stimulating and fun activities which will inspire the pupils. Our engineering engineered themed boxes are developed for teachers by teachers, with support from qualified engineers when developing. Resources are aimed at younger learners, 9 to 14 years old, but they can be easily adapted to fit into younger and older ones, sixth formers, for example. All of our resources are linked to the curriculum and provide opportunities for young learners to explore and tinker and to express their thoughts and ideas. Pupils will also develop their creativity and practical skills to develop understanding, change, and make a difference to the world around them. Our resources can be used flexibly in the classroom or STEM clubs, as I said, for enrichment projects. A set of training videos, including tutorial guides with practical advice and demonstrations, are available to support the delivery of each of the resources. All of our resources and tutorial films are freely available to download. There's another pack there. I'll talk about these in a bit more depth in a minute. Who can join? The CST is a national network of STEM teachers and coordinators in secondary schools. It's free to join and there's no cost. Did I mention it was free? Primary school teachers are also welcome to join. Network meetings are usually attended by a host of people. To join, all you have to do is look at the map. Well, in fact, I was going to say look at the map to see the closest one, but I'm almost positive it's going to be me. Anybody along the North Wales coastline, at the end of this sermon, you'll see an email address. Just either press print screen or make a note of it. Take a picture with your phone or something. If you contact me, we can get in touch. Click on your regional area and I'll contact you back and get you sorted. What are the benefits of the school? Well, training and free STEM resource kits to enhance and add context to the curriculum, free professional development on the STEM pedagogy, opportunities to network with other STEM teachers in your area. I'm just going to go through some of these. What you're looking at here, I'm just going to go back a little bit. When you join up, I'll be honest with you, this is actually available, what you're looking at on the screen there. This is actually available for everybody who hasn't signed up even, to be honest with you. So there is a link to this website for the Royal Academy at the end. And what you're looking at here are past resources that you would have had a box and you would have a kit with to go along with it. So if you sign up now, you might be able to get some of the past resources to sort of run some of these. But even if you don't, if you were to click on one of these, if you were on the website and you clicked on one of them, you've got lesson plans, you've got schemes of work, you've got links to the curriculum for different age groups, and you can still deliver most of the material even without the kit. But obviously, if you sign up now, the next activity, you will get a kit, a classroom kit. So you can see that they're thorough, they cover everything. The one on the left there, Engineering a Better World, that was quite popular. That was about 2 years ago. And that is what you get inside the box. That's just a sort of print screen what I used. But you can see, I think that kit was worth about £125 and it's completely free. I probably mentioned that. As you can see, there's motors in there. There are solar panels, everything you need to run the activity. This is another one. This was Code and Rescue. This was really popular. I mean, you can just look at the screen there. You can see the amount of money's worth that you get. I mean, I've used this one a lot, and you haven't got to use it just how it's delivered. So I will sort of meet up with you and I'll give you the lesson plans in the box and I'll explain how best I would use it. You might, as yourself, as a different teacher, might look at it and think, well, actually, I want to deliver it slightly different. You can do whatever you want. You can see there how it links to the curriculum. As I'm sure you're aware, STEM is science, technology, engineering and maths. So you can see there that the different activities in the box, it's not just technology, like I'm a technology and engineering teacher. It covers all the bases with all the different subjects. And this, again, is just some of the kit within the box. This is Code and Rescue. That is a video there. I'm not going to play it, but you can see how it works. The kids literally build a winch, which they sort of, use as if it was a helicopter. Edwin from Bededden, he really loves this one because he links it to the wind turbines out at sea. because where we live along the coastline, you can really relate it to where we live and to what we do. Yeah, I'm not going to play that one. Here's another one. This one here, that's another kit. This little bumble beep here is absolutely fantastic. That's the like the other side of it. It is like it is a full circuit board, a little bit like a microbit, if you like, but it's got different color LEDs that change color based on sound, based on input, and you can do little activities with it. Like I can't see the moment because Hugh's face is in the way there, but I'm assuming that no. Well, what it is, I've got a little thumbnail of Hugh in the bottom there, but I'm thinking my cursor is pointing to some scribbly pencil lines. Am I right? Some scribbly pencil lines, and with the bumble beep, you can connect it up, and the kids can actually sort of work out how to make different tones with the carbon from within their pencils, and it's fantastic. Here's another one, engineering a pandemic. This kit was sent out to schools during lockdown. And it was, yeah, you got it there. It's fabulous. It was literally designed for teachers to send home to kids during lockdown so they could carry on with their learning. There's a part of the plan was they built not a wind tunnel, a filter, if you like, and how best to sort of get air in and out of a room. I think. Yeah, this is another bit. You get some free polymorph. I'm sure many of you are aware what polymorph is. And as part of that kit, the kids were to develop their own sort of a mold, their own versions of the coronavirus. Sounds a bit extreme, but you know, you can imagine how much they enjoy doing that. You know, they loved it. You give some kids some Play-Doh that goes solid, and they're away. You could leave the room, they're away. Here we go. This is what I was talking about earlier. So you can see. The full kit gets the kids making their own tunnel there. They get the motor, they get the fan, the battery snap. Fantastic. They loved it. I actually had my year 10s doing it, who are now my year 11s, who are studying engineering. And it was a great way to get them thinking like engineers. It worked superb. This is one of the latest ones. This is a data hive. I think you might have that one there. There it is. God, I thought you had a massive one there then. I didn't realize you had it close to your screen. This is brilliant. As you can see, if you look at the screen there, you've got it, you know, just by hooking it up with some crop clips, you can use it for projects that run temperature, battery charge, light sensors. We got a guy in Wrexham. I don't think he's on with us tonight, but he's literally setting his up to do similar to what Alice was talking about earlier, a whole greenhouse. And he's got his data hive set up to water plants when the moisture is too low or where the humidity is too low, to open up. Yeah, that's it. You've got it running there. It's fantastic. He's got Brilliant. It set to open up a screen to let sunlight in when the light is too low as well. He's got infrared lights in there as well that comes on to keep things growing. It's superb. And there you go there. There's some images there for all different things you can use the data hive for. By the way, did I mention that this is all free? Yeah. Here's the latest one, the future of flight. This has only just gone out really to a lot of schools. That's the kit that you get, and you literally get the you get all the parts to make your own wind tunnel that you're looking at here. But I use 2D design to sort of duplicate it. So I've made dozens of these in a laser cutter, and anybody's welcome to have that. Obviously, you're free to have that, and the kids snap it all together to use the fan to test the aerodynamics of anything really. You can test the aerodynamics of obviously of a hydrofoil. It teaches how to make your own hydrofoil, but you could test the aerodynamics of a Snickers bar if you wanted to. It's up to you. You can get the kids sort of getting curious and asking questions just to see how things compare to each other. It's not just about the kits. The Royal Academy have all sorts. So it's one of those things. This when I have to sort of present things like this, I start delving a bit deeper, and then I realise how fantastic it is myself. I kind of forget. You've got all these resources here, and one that caught my eye. I don't know about you, but look at this: how to make your own hovercraft. So I thought I've got to have a look at this. It literally, if you want kids to get interested in engineering, you tell them that you're going to teach them how to make a hovercraft in the classroom, and trust me, they'll be interested. If they're not interested by then, I don't know what we gotta do, really. Okay, but I'm going to do this. I haven't done it. I am genuinely, hand on heart, I'm going to do it because I've looked at the instructions on how to make a hovercraft in the class, and I think, you know, if you're thinking how can we get kids choosing engineering for GCSE, you get some year 9s in, you know, and after school in the gym or whatever, building their own hovercraft and flying around the room like that. Trust me, they're going to be interested in engineering. If that doesn't do it, I don't know what will. I'm just going to leave that on the screen for a moment. I've waffled on a little bit longer than I meant to be honest. You can either press your print screen, or it'll all be available towards the end anyway. I'm going to try and get back to this now. Have I stopped sharing?
I think you have. Neil,
yeah, okay.
Absolutely brilliant of you. Thank you so much. That's really good.
You're welcome.
Now, David, what do you think? It's 5 o'clock now. Keith,
yes.
What do you think? The legend Keith is waiting there.
Yeah. After being built up by such a way.
No.
It does
not
feel
the graveyard slot,
no.
Keith. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. So I need to be a time traveler, go back in time to.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mind. I can happily come along next time round and talk to people then, because I'm aware that obviously a lot of colleagues here, they've had a long, busy day, long, hard day. I don't want to sort of prolong that sort of day for them.
The only thing is, Keith, this would be part of the full picture, and we are recording it as well. So I think it'd be great if you carried on, if that's at all possible.
Okay. If I plough on them regardless, yeah. Okay. So
people that have to leave, they have to go, and we'll send them the recording.
That'll be fine.
Thank you so much, Keith. I'm sorry about.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
It's so important that people get this message, though. I think really.
Well, I mean, I've been sort of gobsmacked by it all. I mean, to explain to everybody else, so I'm Keith Jones, Dewey Boo and a Rill, but please don't hold that against me. Dewey Dim Shara Cymraeg, Dewey Darlin, Dusky Shara Cymraeg Posh, and it's taking forever to actually learn to speak it properly. So apologies for being in English tonight. But yeah, I mean, I'm still a teacher of sorts, although more recently, the last 2 years with the pandemic, I was actually working as a supply teacher, and we weren't wanted in schools. Luckily, I became project manager with the Welsh Government funded project we do with IOP here in Wales. So at the minute, that's sort of taken over my life in effect. But I'm really looking forward to get back into school, and some of the stuff that we've seen tonight with Alice and Neil and Alex, you think, wow, you know, all this stuff. I want to get back into to be a teacher in a classroom. Maybe not 5 lessons a day, 5 days a week, but at least like doing a little bit more than what I have been doing. So, okay, yeah. So for those who don't know me, and it's actually great to see a few faces I recognise and also some names, and that's one of the good things about being on Teams, is the fact that I can actually sort of connect your name with your face, which in real life I'm absolutely hopeless at. So if I ever sort of see you anywhere and I look at you in a blank vacant look, it's because I'm trying to figure out who you are and where I know you from. If we had like sort of VR glasses on all the time, we could actually put a name to a face. It'd be so much better, wouldn't it? Now I'm actually using PowerPoint Live for the first time ever in a Teams session, so this is a bit of an experiment on my part as well, a bit of online sort of on the go CPD, and hopefully you can see my first slide. Yeah, is that working, Hugh?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, yeah. So IOP Cymru, pwy ydyn ni, who are we? And yeah, and going back to Simon Sinek's sort of golden circle that he referred to from the previous webinar, we can start off with an alternative version. That's the posh one, because the one that I was going to put it was what the hell do you do? But I think I had to moderate my language, especially with being recorded. Otherwise, it's there forever to sort of be put in the Daily Mirror or some other sort of tabloid in the future. So yeah, we go away from that. But yeah, but why do we all do what we do? I mean, one of the big things about tonight, I think, is all these amazing STEM opportunities. First of all, it reminds us that it's not just S for science. there's all the T technology, E engineering, and also M for maths. Don't forget poor maths, because especially for primary colleagues with their numeracy and literacy work, maths sometimes takes centre stage away from the STE part of it. But it's very important to sort of get a complete overview picture. But of course, at the same time, don't forget that it's us as teachers, we're the ones who put it all into place. If you haven't got a science or a technology or an engineer or maths teacher in the classroom there, then all these wonderful sort of freebies, which I think Neil mentioned was free, so I better mention that on his behalf as well. All that stuff there, what is not going to happen doesn't actually happen. You're there to facilitate it as well. Okay, so moving on then, that's a slide we don't need. First of all, very, very quickly, because I'm coming at this probably more like from a teacher point of view, and how we at IOP can help you as teachers, and not just physics teachers, but literally any science teacher out there, and to a wider extent, anybody else. And we go up as far as A level, we'll drop down as far as Key Stage 2. We're looking at working with primary school colleagues, because very often they haven't got that, no worries, Emma, you got to go, that's fine, don't worry, you can catch up the recording, just like fast forward to the last 5 minutes on the end of the recording. So very, very quickly, a couple of sorts of resource websites. The Spark website is more to actually explain to people how to teach physics, or physics in science, or physics within sort of engineering or technology slightly better, how to improve your knowledge. Moving on, this is a great resource to use, totally free of charge. You can download them. We got a scheme called Marvin and Milo. Lots and lots of little sort of simple experiments. This one is actually comparing a raw egg with a boiled egg. How can you tell the difference, apart from trying to smash it on someone's head? Which, please don't try that at home without your parents' permission. And the great thing is, here in Wales, we actually managed to get some funding from IOP and Welsh Government to do a few translations. So there's also a Welsh version of Spinning an Egg as well. What I'll do later on, Hugh, if I give you a list of all these links, and then if you want to sort of spread them out, or perhaps more easily, if I give people in the chat later on my email address, and then just get in touch directly if you want to find out anything. Likewise, during the sort of the lockdowns and whatever else, and having to work from home, or having to teach from home, or having to teach from home and at school at the same time, and all sort of permutations of hybrid learning and blended learning and all the rest of it. This is something which parents can help out with, because we do believe, I believe strongly, I think we'd all agree, that it's not just about us teaching the pupils, it's about the parents being involved as well. And that, of course, comes across to the whole idea of enriching the STEM curriculum, because it's not just actually involving the pupils, it's involving the parents as well. And a couple of words which you don't actually see in curriculum for Wales, just thinking to the future in September, science capital, I'm pretty sure it doesn't actually appear in the whole document. It's actually sort of, that's really a big trick they've missed, I think, by not sort of encouraging that more and everything. Okay, so moving on then. If you are looking for sort of actual self CPD, on the Spark website, we've got the domains program, little short videos, nice short chunky videos, little chunks to sort of do a bit of learning. They sort of come under forces, energy, thermal physics, electricity, the usual sort of physics topics. Really well worth looking at, and of course you can do it at your own pace, and you can go around them at any speed you want to. In terms of what we've been doing online, as I mentioned, we've been doing CPD sessions quite frequently, quite regularly. We do one every sort of month or so, geared towards Key Stage 3, whilst also looking at the AOLE, although we don't quite know what's going to be inside there yet, although we do have the sort of the basic, what matters in those sort of comments there and in those notes there. And what we're doing with that is we're sort of actually saying, right, okay, because I think the big thing about Curriculum for Wales is it's not going to be, right, here's a curriculum, get on with it, this is what you got to teach. It's going to be down to us as teachers in individual schools what we do teach. And let's say, for example, that you teach in Bangor, like say Gareth, who I noticed on here tonight. So you've got the sort of the slate quarries not too far away. they're a really big, well, they're so big they're now world heritage, aren't they? They've really sort of come up in the world, literally. That's a really good resource to use. Okay, how on earth can we do that? Well, if we look at it, we can actually sort of pare down and look at the physics behind it. We can look at, the actual inclines and look at the idea of how gears work. And yeah, it's bringing in engineering. It's not just physics, it's maths and engineering, technology all rolled into one. And we've been giving sort of people ideas and, okay, whatever you got in your local surroundings, how can we actually make the physics come to life in it? The GCSE is, as it says on the tin, we're looking at the 16-18 units of the current GCSE and doing one at a time, going through it, little ideas, little tips and everything, and all the rest of it. The AS that was new this year. Tony Reeves, who some of you may know, he's a newly retired physics teacher, head of physics at Christ College, Brecon, got some amazing ideas, things like how to work out voltages across circuits by colouring in the voltages. It has to be seen to be actually sort of understood better than just explaining that. And then the latter of the four there, the planning physics across the curriculum. With that, we've been doing all sorts of really sort of weird topics, looking at learning techniques, how they relate to physics, and of course the wider STEM as well. The one we did on Monday, we actually had a session, a workshop on literacy and radioactivity, and it's the sort of things that are going to become more and more important as we go on to or come into the curriculum for Wales. But we're also now back into in-person events. We're hoping to have the Brecon Welsh Teachers Conference in October again, although the past 2 years had a very successful online sessions, along with a Saturday which was in person down in Brecon. And we also went along and we did an alpaca walk. We went to an alpaca farm. We learned to pet the alpacas without them spitting at us, and then we took them for a little walk. And it was the first time a lot of colleagues had been out of the sort of lockdown in the whole of 18 months, and it was brilliant. Alpacas are nothing at all to do with physics unless you start throwing them around. And again, please do not throw alpacas around. They don't appreciate it, and I say they will spit back. But it was just nice to actually sort of bring in a bit of mental well-being as well to it. Bangor, we're looking forward to. At the moment, we've got two plans. Anthony Clouser, my colleague, who is a teacher in John Bright in Llandudno, and he works as a consultant with us as well. We're looking actually at a couple of in-person events. If I mention the new distillery that Penderyn have opened in Llandudno, I might see a few ears pricking open, and then on the Saturday we'll be looking at possibly going to the Great Orme copper mine, and again exploring the science and the physics of that place there. We've more recently, back at Christmas time, we had a Saturday in Wrexham looking at physics of sport. We went to the world's oldest football stadium, the racecourse. We didn't see Ryan Reynolds, unfortunately, but we had a really good time looking at the physics of sport, physics of football in particular. We got one coming up at the end of March. It's going to be a Friday night and a Saturday. Come to both, come to either. We're happy to see you if you can make it in Aberystwyth. It's provisionally called Sound Bites. Again, I'll give Hugh the details for later on. And this is one actually that, sorry, you've missed this one. That's why it's separate to the others. We were delighted to receive a donation of about 40 Oculus 2 VR headsets, which we distributed across far and wide across Wales. Unfortunately, they went off the shelves like hotcakes. I'm in the process of sort of looking for any other opportunities. I sound a bit like Del Boy, don't I? But that we can actually sort of get across, because a lot of schools, you have so little money for resources and for capitation that it's just ridiculous. And how they expect you to actually do things, it's really, really, it's really, really crazy. Okay, so moving on very, very quickly. I mentioned about Science Capital. That's one big thing which I think does appeal to us all, and especially the bigger idea, the bigger picture of inclusion, which was mentioned previously. And if we're going to sort of develop STEM employability skills and make students aware of STEM careers, we need to first of all make sure they actually want to do STEM careers, because if you don't get that in place, then all the extra work you do is not really going to be for any benefit. So we've started up this year. We have previously done an improving gender balance, but we decided we wanted to actually look not just at the difference between girls and boys and getting more girls into physics or into science, but actually any sort of underrepresented groups. So we're looking at sort of in terms of sort of race, in terms of gender. We're also looking in terms of literally any underrepresented groups. You come to my hometown of Rhyl, we are a deprived area with a lot of possibilities, but it's not there yet. We're still helping to work towards that. And Anglesey, Ynys Môn has got areas of deprivation, not trying to sort of actually do Anglesey down, but there are sort of issues there which can be addressed when we look at what's going on. The amazing work with which, remember, it was Energy Island and all the rest of it. Okay, we haven't got Wilver 2 yet. We may still have it, who knows, but there's still all that amazing renewable technology going on around the coast and everything, and it's getting that into the sort of field of view of our students. And so we got this inclusion and equity network, and all it is, it's a set of seminars, workshops that you can drop out of, see what it's all about. Again, one coming up in March. It's only an hour long. It's after school, 4 o'clock to 5 on a Wednesday. I think it may be Wednesday the 16th of March. If you want to come along, have a look at it. If you like the look of it, you can then do some more with us. But if not, then don't worry. And it's not just physics. Okay, it comes under the Institute of Physics banner because they're the people who pay Julia and me our money. But apart from that, it is literally it is cross subject. Okay, so I think then probably Hugh, and of course, most importantly, and I think I saw Cacklan on here before, and I've been to Cacklan down at Gogledd previously, and I'll be going back again there fairly soon, because I think, for all this online stuff, which is great for actually not to drive anywhere and all the rest of it, you can't being face to face even with a person in a room talking ideas through and actually showing stuff. Showing it on screen is great, but really you need to be there in the flesh. And hopefully after half term and beyond, we'll be back to that that type of support. And again, any individual teacher who wants to help with a bit of science, or any school department who wants to help with a bit of science, then please come along and ask. You come and ask and talk about it. So to finish off, then I've got a posh address at the IOP .org, keith.jones, or another sort of colloquial one, physicswales@gmail.com. That's the one that people tend to remember because it's more easily remembered, and because very often people can't spell Keith. Please don't call me K-I-E. It is K-E-I. That's my little rant out of the way. So I've tried to be as quick as I can. Sorry if it's nearly supper time or time for bed, but diolch yn fawr i ti, Hugh. Diolch yn fawr i chi gyd for being to speak to you, and hopefully we'll be in touch fairly soon. Thank you.
Keith, thank you very, very much indeed. That was fantastic. And thank you, all of you, for attending today. It's really kind, and really kind of you to spend the time, really, because I know it's late into the afternoon. So thanks very much indeed. We'll be making a link available for this fairly soon, straight afterwards. I'll be sending it around to you, and if you've got any questions, please just get in touch with me or with the people involved today. Thanks very much indeed.